Hi, this is Blake Taylor from Popbox Studio. I'm here to cover our new live wallpaper, Bubbles. And as you know, there's a lot of other live wallpapers named Bubbles on Android right now. So you're probably wondering, what it is that we did. Well, Bubbles, which comes in two versions, a free and a paid, is a physics simulator with bouncing bubbles. Much like the old Windows Vista or Windows 7 screensaver, you have a set of bubbles that will move non-stop as gravity is applied to them. They'll change color over time, and you can interact with them in fun and interesting ways. For the free version, which is what I have shown right here, we basically picked kind of the default settings for the bubble radius, how bouncy they are off of each other, the wall bounce, as well as how fast the color changes, and gave you the ability to select any custom background that you want for bubbles. And you see there's a ton of features here. They're kind of grayed out. They're all available in the paid version, or we call our donation version. But if everything you want is here and you're able to get everything you need just from selecting the background, then this is the right version for you, and we really appreciate your download. So we'll select any background from our gallery. I've got a bunch of different kind of like test images here, and select one of my favorite ones. And voila, that's what you get. Now when you go to set the live wallpaper, it will basically start up the sim, get all the bubbles going, and these guys will bounce around and run indefinitely. It also supports landscape mode, so for those of you who have a slide out keyboard, it will support that. It also supports all your images full screen as best as possible. So one of the things I didn't like about the gallery app that we used to use before for Flurry was, one, a lot of the features were not public, so Google or whoever is maintaining the app could take away features, which would cause us a lot of problems on newer devices that had newer operating systems. So we got a lot of customer feedback saying, hey, we don't really like this not working for our phones. So went and wrote my own version of it that allowed us to basically pick any background regardless of dimensions or aspect ratio, and you can set that as your phone background, and then it will adapt the scaling of that image to match your phone's screen and our grid, so you always get a really crystal clear background image, and you'll be able to have like much wider panoramic images versus what the gallery enforces upon you, which is like a 4:3. So back to Bubbles. So let's go to the paid version. So the paid version is everything you've seen right here, except it unlocks pretty much all the features that are on there, and I kind of wanted to go over them. So we've already covered the background image right now, but what I'll do is I'll just go pick a different image just for the fun of it, something that's maybe a different ratio. This is one of my really large images, that old standard Windows Vista background. Then we can go to the bubble radius. So with each one of these we've shown these items on here, I've given you a help button. So if you're ever curious, what it is that this setting does, we've added a little pop-up right here that'll tell you, what it does, and it'll give you a little hint on what you can do. As you would expect, the bubble radius is just controlling the size of the bubbles on the screen, and they can go from really, really small to really, really large. Now what you see here is not the total number of bubbles that are going to be, but what we felt was like the best way to give you feedback on how large or small they are. When they go to run, obviously it's going to match up to however many bubbles that you have, and you have a wide range of bubble sizes here. You can go all the way down to a very small size, so I can get the oil off the phone, and you can interact with them. So I'm going to leave them down here. I really like them running as small as possible. I like having a lot of bubbles up on the screen to play with. The next thing that you can deal with is the color strength. Now this is one of the really nice features. Again, it has the help with it that depending on the background that you have, you may not want them like strong or not. So I can make the color strength full, and if this is the look that you like, then it's a great look. But then you can also take the color strength down to almost nothing. So they're more white, a little bit more transparent, they blend a little bit better with the background in some cases. It's kind of up to a personal preference, and that's why I wanted to put it in there. So I'm going to set kind of my personal preference for this background, and somewhere down in the middle, and go back to it. But you'll want to adjust that as your backgrounds are lighter or darker. Color increment. Now this is kind of a really fun option. So these bubbles are changing color over time. So one of the things that's really key here is you can go and say, hey, I want to make this like super psychedelic, and these things will change colors as fast as possible. You can say, hey, I want a little bit more mild look, doesn't change color, but, very slowly, or, somewhere in the middle where I'll pick that, you want to see it change color, but you don't want it to go at a race speed. Almost last on the display options, we have the shadow strength. Now, what you may not see it well on the phone is, but these bubbles are casting shadows. So you can turn the shadows all the way up, you can turn them all the way down, and this is kind of a really nice critical feature for different types of backgrounds that you can set, because some backgrounds are going to look better with stronger shadows, some backgrounds are going to look better with a less shadow, and I wanted to make this so customizable that every user could make this live wallpaper look exactly the way that they want it to. So I'm going to pick something where we can kind of see the shadow background. And the last but not least on the display is the number of bubbles. So obviously, we can go all the way down from like, one bubble to what we consider the maximum number. And the maximum number is kind of governed by your screen size. And so that we can make sure that the bubbles will still be able to move around nicely and provide a really good look and movement look. So, I'll put it at the max for now and go on to our touch events. So in 1.1, we added 2 touch events, a freeze and a pop. So we're going to have to set the live wallpaper to cover these really quick. So the first mode that comes in by default is freeze. And what that does is it basically says, okay, no matter what bubble I tap on, I'm going to tell it to stop moving. So I tapped on that guy right there. Now all the other bubbles will continue to interact with them. They'll continue to move. They'll continue to whatever. If you ever want him to start again, say I tapped another one, you can tap him again and they'll start rendering again. And so you can go through and go crazy, stop all of your phone from rendering and continue on. Go watch what else is going on, and they're still going to be sitting there doing nothing. Well, let's kick them back off again. Okay, so that was the first mode, just something fun. I had fun trapping bubbles on the screen so they couldn't move, watching them bounce around inside of other ones. I'm sure you'll find better ways to play with it. The second mode that I find really fun is I added a pop event on there in both of these in version 1.1. So what happened in version 1.1 now is with all these touch events, you can go and pop them. You can have a good time, destroy all the bubbles on the screen, whatever you want to do. And now, the thing that is really nice about this is eventually you're going to pop them all and you have nothing left on the screen. You're going to be very sad. There's going to be no bubbles left. So what you can do is you can tap on the screen anywhere where a bubble is not located, and it will add bubbles all the way up to the point where it can add no more back to the system. So if I pop 3 bubbles, I'll be able to add 3 more, and then voila, no more bubbles to add. The phone will give you a little vibration, and it'll let you know, hey, you can't add any more. So, I mean, you can go crazy. Just kind of hard to see them all as I destroy everything that's on the screen. And then add them all back in. Hopefully don't pop any of them as you add them back in, and let's see if we can get this thing maxed out again. Oh, there we go. Got them all back in. Okay, great. So that was the touch events, and I hope that, for customers that really wanted to see them, this fits your need. And if you see any other touch events that you'd like to see us include, definitely shoot us an email at support@popboxstudio.com, and we'll put them in for you. We'll have a great time adding more features onto this app. The last part of the application to customize is the wall bounce and the elasticity, gravity, basically the physics settings. So these physics settings make the bubbles interact in a very interesting way. So wall bounce is basically around the edge of the phone, how much bounce will the bubbles get when they hit it. So if you set it to max, whatever their speed is, you're going to see that they're going to really bounce off the wall and gain a lot of energy. On the opposite end, when they hit the wall, they can completely die and no energy. So that basically gives you one factor to customize on the physics. The next one is kind of how much the bubbles bounce off of each other. So at the very minimum, they have very little bounce off of each other. So when they hit, they're just going to basically stay. They're not going to really move around. It's kind of going to gel. At the max, you're going to get a lot of bubble bouncing among each other. They're going to really react. As you can see right here, they don't really stay together. They're going to want to jump apart, and it's just another little fun setting to play with. For gravity, this is basically each one of these guys, as I said before, has some gravity applied to it. Now you can make them go really fast by upping their gravity, or they can go really slow by lowering it. So if you want really slow bubbles that take their time as they move, you can lower the gravity all the way down. If you want to have like very fast moving bubbles, turn the gravity all the way up and turn up your elasticity and wall bounce, and you're going to have some like very fast bubbles that in this confined space that they have right here for the preview. They're not able to get fully up to speed, but you'll get an idea when you actually go use this on your phone. The last part on here is something I thought people would really enjoy, and that's the orientation. And to show the orientation, it's really better to set the live wallpaper. So the orientation will actually follow your phone's orientation to set to control the bubble. So as you can see, as we lean it down, they'll all fall over, and your gravity setting is going to control how fast they move when they're in that orientation. So if you want them to move slower in orientation or faster, you can change that gravity. So you have fun with this. You can combine these with your touch events and just destroy things as they're moving around on your phone. It's a really fun setting. And going back into bubbles, I believe that covers all of the settings. Yep, it does. At any time, if you want to go back to what we consider like our factory settings, you can restore the default settings and be done. So sorry, this is a little bit longer video than anyone we put out, but I wanted to really cover all of the features. And again, if you guys have any questions, please check out our website at popboxstudio.com or shoot me an email at support@popboxstudio.com. And hope you guys have a good one and enjoy the app. I look forward to hearing from you.